Hi friends, welcome to the video. Today we'll continue with Queen versus Rook endgame. In the previous video, we learned the most important position one needs to know in Queen versus Rook endgame, that is the Philidor's position. For those who do not have the understanding of winning from the Philidor position, please refer to the video with the link given in the below description. Now, one important thing that we learned from the Philidor position is that once the rook is separated from the queen, we should be able to double attack both the king and rook and finally capture the rook. Although in some positions it would take several moves to achieve this goal. This is something which is not easy. At the same time, it is not difficult either. It needs some amount of practice. I would suggest you to practice such positions against engine and be confident of being able to capture the rook via double attack. And for those who do not know how to set up and play against LiChess engine, please refer the video with the link given in the below description. Today, we'll try to understand two other important positions in the Queen versus Rook endgame. Now, the first position is what you see on the screen. So here, this position you would often reach when you are trying to push the king towards the Philidor position. Now, what you see in this position is that the king and rook are in the 7th rank, and here our goal is to push the king and rook towards the corner. If the king and rook moves towards the right corner, we should be able to achieve the Philidor position and win from there. However, if the king and rook moves towards the left corner, we should be able to finally separate the rook and win from there. So here, qf6 check. Now the only move is qe8. Here, be careful not to move the king forward because it will be a stalemate. So that is why we give the check. So the best move for black king would be qf7. Now here, there's no point in giving the check again because the black would repeat the moves and try to go for a draw. So the idea is to attack the rook. Here, ideally, they would like to keep the rook and king connected. So there are two moves. Either you could move the rook to rook e7 or we could move the king to e7. So here, in this case, we make the move qga. Now, if you analyze this position, what this move is doing is, it is effectively making sure the king does not have any move. So here, the rook is forced to move. Rook c7 is the best move. In this case, we give the check. King d8, check again, kd7. In this position, we move the king and make sure the king does not have any moves. Now here the rook is forced to move again, rook b7, and we'll continue with the same logic. Queen f7, king c8, queen e8, check, king c7. Again, we'll move the king to prevent the king from escaping. So again, the same procedure follows. He moves the rook, check, king d8, q d8, kb7, and again we'll move the king. So this is a common routine and use the same procedure for pushing the king towards the left corner. Now here there are no moves for the king and the king and rook are forced to separate out. So here either the rook can attack the queen. In this case, we can give the check, only move the king. So here this move we are threatening to give the checkmate at c7, and then the black is forced to give up the rook either by rook a7 or rook a6. However, in this position, we can also move the rook along the file. Now let us say if he moves to rook a3, we can give a check and capture the rook. And if he moves the rook to rook a2, rook d5 and capture the rook. And if he moves the rook to rook a1, this needs a series of moves. So let us start with check. So here, since the rook is in the black square, the white king would always try to prevent a double attack by being in the lighter square. So here, king c8. So we'll give the check again. Now, if analyze this position, the king cannot come to this square. If he comes to this square, it will be a double attack and the rook would be lost. And similarly, if he comes to this square, there will be a double attack and then the rook is lost. So he is forced to come back to king b7. So here again, we'd give the check. Now again, the only square which is left for the king is to go back to king c8. In all other squares, it would be a double attack on the rook and rook would be lost. Now this is one important position you need to understand. Now here what is happening is the queen is preventing the rook from giving the check to the king. So in such positions what we can do is we need to remember an important pattern where we threaten a checkmate by moving the king b6. So here what is happening is in the next move, if he is not careful, it is a checkmate. So here the king is now forced to move, and now wherever the king moves, it is a double attack on the rook and the rook will queen d4 check, and then we will be capturing the rook. Now that we have understood the main line of position, let us try to see what other positions that can come in and then how do we handle it. So check, again check. So from this position, we have learned how to handle the situation where they would keep the rook and king together and moves towards left corner. In this position, the rook can move to rook d3, rook d2 and rook d1. Now I think you guys are familiar with how to give a checkmate once the rook gets separated from the king. Now let us try to understand how to handle the situation where he would move the rook towards the king. Rook e7. So here rook f5 is a post move. So here again, let's say he moves the king to kg8. We would attack the rook with the queen. Now again, rf7 check. Again, we would move over. Let us continue this. K h7. We would attack the rook. Then you would keep the rook close to the king. So here we have move kf6. Now, if you see this, you should be able to understand this is Philidor's position, and from here you should win the game. So guys, this is how you will try to handle this position. I would suggest you to practice this position against an engine and be confident of winning. This is the second position that we would like to understand. So this is a case study from Ponziani in 1782. Now this position depicts how a weaker side can achieve the stalemate if the stronger side is not careful. Please analyze and see if you can draw from here. Yes, so here we can achieve the draw using perpetual checks. Rf7, the king cannot come to re5 because he would lose to re7. However, if in this position, if the king goes to kh7, we would continue to give the check. The reason behind is if he takes the rook, it would be a stalemate. So, as a stronger side, be careful of such stalemating ideas. And also, if you are playing on the weaker side, keep always open to such stalemating ideas. So finally, kindly request you to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And that's it for the video. Thank you. Bye for now and happy learning.